All right. I'm pleased to welcome to the Badger Beer Hour two of the most esteemed members of Lakefront Brewery members. I don't know. Russ Klish and Michael Stodola, thank you guys for joining us. And we are here to talk about Black Friday. So, oh man, he's got him behind him, doesn't he? Oh, you guys are killing me. Okay. So usually this is a big party built around, a huge line at the brewery, winding all the way around the brewery, all of its surroundings. Obviously, that couldn't happen this year. So can you guys talk about what you're doing with Black Friday and why?
What we decided to do is to have it sold at some of our better accounts around the city. Couldn't have all one party at our place, obviously, with the pandemic. So we thought it'd be best to just spread it around and show some love to some of our accounts and have it at our places and social distance out the sale.
Right. Because obviously the concentration at the one point of the brewery versus, I guess, a couple hundred. Do you know how many accounts are you guys shipping it to?
We're going to be it's probably around 75 to 100 different accounts around the city.
So you spread that all those people who come to the brewery out over all that space, and
yeah, we're giving other people a chance too. Though you get all the people that sit there and said, "I didn't want to get up at 4 a.m. to go get the beer," and so now they should have a chance to get it around town.
Right. I was going to say, obviously, this is a pretty hot ticket. How did you guys decide who's getting it? How much everybody's going to get? I got to imagine there was a lot of some heated discussions over that.
We kind of look at a couple different things. Who's our best accounts? Who sold most of our beer? Who supported us in the past? Those things all go into consideration. Where the better places are or more craft central places. But it does go back to a lot of people, who's supported us in the past, who has us on the shelf. Obviously, you want to support the people that support us.
Michael, what about the decision to keep it in the Milwaukee area versus, potentially going wider or, trickling some into Madison or Green Bay, Fox Valley? I mean, or even out of state. Obviously, Lakefront distributes in a lot of different states. How did you decide to keep it focused on Milwaukee? Oh, you're muted, Michael.
Here we go. That decision was actually made months and months and months ago when we decided not to brew as much Black Friday this year. We do have a limited number of bottles out there, and the total 2020 number is only 5,000, and that includes the variants. We have the Black Friday 2020, which is the Imperial Stout, the gold standard. Only 3,000 bottles are out there in the public, are in existence, and that certainly couldn't be spread around the entire state. We also have just 1,000 bottles of our barley wine aged in bourbon as well, and also just 1,000 of our Christmas ale aged in Wallersheim brandy barrels. So the beer itself is even more limited than it has been in prior years. So we kind of have to keep it to just Milwaukee, and I think everyone is used to anyone from out of town is used to coming to Milwaukee, of course, to our brewery to buy it. So that doesn't seem to be an issue at all, just to spread it around town. The unfortunate thing also with having a limited number of bottles out there is that not every store will have every variant. The larger places that Russ, was talking about that sell a lot of our beer, that do a great volume. You can probably find all of them there, but the smaller you go, the more rare it's going to be, the more treasure hunt that it may be.
Yeah. It, you mentioned brewing less. I mean, this is obviously a beer that has a lot of lead time. Is that late February, early March? Is that basically Black Friday brewing season
It's January, February.
Okay.
I think we're usually in barrel by the end of February. I believe that. Is that correct, Russ?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're talking about it today. We're going to be brewing it in early January. The slower times of the year is good for us. It gives it a good, 10, 11 months almost in the barrel before we package it. So that's proper amount of time to get the good flavors out of the wood and barrel.
So
and also when it comes to March and April, we're knee deep in, in summer and everything else that's going on. We get very, very busy.
So did you decide to reduce the amount brewed because of COVID, or was that? It sounds like it was a little bit before that, or did you?
It was a touch before. It was a touch before that. Last year, I believe we had close to 13,000 bottles because we had four. Well, we had the original Black Friday, then we had 3 variants and a 5-year-old bottle.
Right.
We found that was just too much. It was way too much. And so after we kind of debated, sat down and talked about our strategy for this year, we thought, well, let's pull it back. Let's pull it way back and just go back to just 5,000 total of everything. Make it sell out even quicker. And then, here we go. March is the beginning of COVID, and lo and behold, that strategy was actually a bad idea for that.
When did you see that Black Friday was not going to happen in the way that it usually happens?
Well, I think early on, I believe we temporarily closed the brewery around March 6th, and we reopened June 20th or so for food service and takeout beer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we thought, like everyone else, that this would run its course, and by August, September, things would lighten up. When that wasn't happening in August, September, we knew that we had to do something else. We talked about having some kind of sale at the brewery with maybe lines of cars pulling up and no one gets out of their cars. That became an issue because of Commerce Street. Unfortunately, we're kind of landlocked and don't have a whole lot of room to breathe, especially with cars down there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Russ made the call to share it with all of our friends, our accounts. And it was a brilliant idea. It really took a load off of us. We don't have to get up at 4 a.m. anymore and go down to the brewery, which is great. But yeah, it should be interesting how it goes this year, and it may, who knows? It, like lots of COVID things, it may reflect on us for next year. Maybe we change our ways a little bit, and we have a little bit out in the market, and we have a little bit at the brewery. Anything's possible right now.
Yeah, great. You mentioned the variants. I do want to kind of talk a little bit more about the beer specifically. I've heard good things about this year's base beer, the regular Black Friday.
Yeah, one of the earliest things that I've heard about it was from our head brewer, Luther Paul, and he said that the Imperial Stout, just the base beer, was one of the best we've ever done. I actually have not tasted this liquid yet, so I'm looking very much forward to it. I snuck a little taste out of the Bright Tank of the Christmas Ale, and that was fantastic. Had a really nice spice, had nice warmth. It was fantastic.
And that's can you tell me a little bit about that beer specifically? That's let's see, pulling up the okay, holiday spices. So is that similar to the old winter the
Holiday spiced.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the idea that we kind of had for it, was to make a beer for Christmas, to make a beer that you could take home, and when Christmas rolled around a few weeks later, you can open that up and drink it, and it would be great. Um, we're very, very, very well known for our holiday spice, and that's something that we've always done good historically. So yeah, we got some Wollersheim brandy barrels. This is 13%, our smallest beer this year. And it's yeah, again, I snuck a cup out of the bright tank, and wow, really, really nice.
Nice. And of course the barley wine. I mean, Lakefront's pretty high bar when it comes to barrel aged barley wines from Lakefront. So, but this one sounds like a winner too.
Yeah, the barley wine is something that we've always done well. And who doesn't like a barley wine? I mean, barley wine is a little bit like pizza, in that you have a crappy pizza, it's still pizza. But
yeah, that's true. And then also this year, shipping out are some bottles from last year as well, right?
Yeah, again, we kind of went overboard last year. I'll take the hit on that one, Russ. We made a lot, and so we have some left over. Yeah, and those will be shipped out to stores, to accounts all over, as well. So if you want to still grab some of that 2019, it's going to be out there too.
Okay, awesome. Let me jump back here. So that's but there is more Black Friday coming out, being sold actually at the brewery. Can you talk about the vintage crowlers? So obviously, I'm guessing there were a few kegs of vintage Black Friday sitting around, or how did this come about?
Rush, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, well, what happens is you go and you brew batches of beer in the barrels, and we actually test every barrel that we have, and for bacteria and everything else. And sometimes you get leakers, and sometimes they go bad, and so you never know what your volume is. So you go on and you order a bunch of bottles, and you think this is what you're going to have, and sometimes you get better yields off than you do. And so what do you do with that beer? You keg it. You fill every bottle that you order that's been screen printed, and so you have it in kegs. And so you can sell it at the brewery that day, and then you kind of save for a special time. And it gets to be like, when is the special time to sell this? And if there's ever a special time, it's right now during the pandemic, I think, and to have everybody get a crowler of beer for Thanksgiving. And so we're selling those online and filling them up, and those sales have been going good. So we have, I think, 2017, 2018, and some XXX from those years. And the sales of that have been brisk. And so it's we're very excited about that. The brewery got a couple shifts going, filling crawlers this coming week.
That is so cool. And I mean, I'm sure every beer geek with a cellar can empathize with the whole, like, when is the special time that I was saving this beer for? It's now 6 years old. What am I doing? So yeah, that's great. And those, I mean, this is really cool. I mean, like the 2017 Black Friday 32-ounce crawler for $25. I mean, like, the value for this, obviously it's a lot of humongous beer, but so you better have some help. But for for the value, it's pretty awesome. It's got to be I mean, you mentioned not having to wake up at 4 a.m. as being a positive of this, but I got to imagine it's tough not to do what's become, really the signature event, I think, for Lakefront, and really one of the best 2 or 3, beer events in the entire state every year. There's a personal touch. I know, Russ, you are often, I think every year still, right, taking pictures with people if they want to have a picture taken after they get their bottles, and it's a very hands-on family feel to it. And how, I mean, we're not going to have that this year.
Yeah,
is
you're not, but you'd rather, see everybody next year safe and to go, and you have to do your part. We're a brewery and we're a community brewery, and you have to do what's right, and you have to do certain things that are good for the community, and being a leader and showing everybody else that this is what we should be doing during this time. And
Plus,
people will come back.
Plus, Russ has offered to go to your house and take a picture with you. So just email him your address, and he'll stop by.
Yeah, social media idea. You can post your photo of your Black Friday, and you can kind of Photoshop Russ's head in there.
Yeah,
There you go. That's free idea.
Make your own fake news.
I don't know if it's too early. I mean, probably not. You mentioned scheduling brew day for next year's beers. Have you thought at all about the 2021 release yet?
We actually had a meeting this morning. It's one of our meetings that we have regularly about the beer development, and we have a few ideas. Nothing at all is in concrete, so we're going to do an imperial stout. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned that maybe this is something. I mean, this is happening in every new kind of normal for pandemic stuff. I mean, dining in the streets and Zoom meetings and all this stuff. I mean, you mentioned kind of maybe there's some elements of this that stay next year, even if there is a normal Black Friday at the brewery.
Well,
Maybe?
I mean, I think lots of different companies are finding new ways to do things during the pandemic, working from home, etc. And I think if COVID went away tomorrow, I think a lot of those things might still be, still make sense, still be logical. And since we've been living with this, it being sold at retail for a little while here, there might be some advantages to maybe doing a statewide rollout of Black Friday available at retail. Right now, it's all just blue sky, and we have nothing written down, nothing even spoken much about it yet. So, but obviously, that'll be our next order of business: is what varieties do we want, and where do we want to take this icon of a beer?
Yeah, we just got an email from Wallersheim saying they had another 10 70-gallon barrels that they're willing to sell us. So
Excellent.
we're talking again about some Christmas beer or something going into the brandy barrel for next year for Black Friday. It was about the perfect volume.
Awesome. Well, I mean, this is almost entirely a COVID conversation, and I just want to give you guys a shout out for being a leader in keeping everybody safe. You mentioned that March 6th date. People will, I mean, it's all kind of a blur now, but that was a full week and a half before the governor's order to close everything, and you guys were the first in the brewery, or the first brewery in the city to close your tap room. And I will never forget that, because I thought that was really exemplary leadership, and it was the right thing to do, and I think you guys should be proud of that. So shouts.
Thank you.
And Michael, you mentioned some little breaking news. You got packaged a new beer today?
Yeah, just this morning. First thing, we packaged a new IPA called Juicify. It's exactly what the name is. It's very, very juicy. It's kind of a sister beer to Hazy Rabbit. This one is not hazy. It's all juice all the time. It's fantastic. I'm really I pulled a couple short fills off the line this morning to bring home with me, and I'm enjoying one right now. This is officially out in stores on December 1st. So it'll be there if you want to come check it out. And if you like the IPA, if you like the sweeter IPAs, you're going to love this one.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on and talking about one of the coolest beers in Wisconsin. Love it every year. And really, I'm kind of excited to, go get it at like not, 4 a.m. time, or camp out overnight
Right.
time, whatever it might be. So, and Russ, I gotta say, you just held up was that a Hopgood that I saw?
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking right now is the Johnny
beer,
Hopgood.
that beer was
Our, my turn. Currently have.
That beer is awesome. That's a great Vienna lager.
It is.
If you
I'm still blown away that his last name is Hopgood. I'm still like,
right. It's perfect.
I need to see some a birth certificate because I
Oh boy, I don't know if we can go there.
Too soon.
Guys, thanks for coming on the Badger Beer Hour, and good luck on next week making everything work.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, Chris.
Cheers, guys.